Well, happy Saturday to you. Chris Hare here, the Crypto Cowboy, bringing you a Saturday update, usually on a Friday night, but I had some things going on last night, so I'm a little late with the video, but Fridays are pretty quiet, so we'll get it to you today. Volume usually drops Friday afternoon around noon, and now here we are in the weekend with not much volume. Charts don't move much, so a few hours late, probably not going to be a big deal. But things are settling in. We kind of feel like there might be a bottom settling in. We keep finding support. I've been pretty bearish over the past 7 to 10 days with good enough reason, but I think we're kind of starting to find a light at the end of the tunnel, maybe. But we'll get into it and figure it out. Today, we'll look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. We're at a 34. We've came up a little bit, 32 yesterday. Last week, we were already down at 25. And what I've told you guys is when we're in fear or extreme fear, they're typically the best times to buy. You can see every time we get up into those, go down into fear, we launch out of it every single time. So history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. It's definitely something to look toward. We go to an altcoin season index. It's also gone up as well. Yesterday, we're at a 24. We're at a 26 today. I think as these coins are finding support, people are paying attention, maybe starting to do a little buying. I know Aster's been on an increase, especially over the last couple of days. I did a video on it a few nights ago, and it looked like it was ready to go. But some of the alts still have some pretty good runs left in them. I think Bitcoin does. We'll look at Ethereum because it's a pretty good guide on the altcoins. But I don't think this bear runs over, guys, or the bull runs over. I think we've still got some pretty good upside. Getting into a Bitcoin liquidation heat map, just had a bunch of sideways movement over the past couple of days, really. It's just not anything to be excited about. I closed out on all my trades. I'm risk off right now. Typically I do that, and on a Friday, if I'm not in a trade, then I don't open trades on the weekend. I'll start looking Sunday night, but there's really no point. The markets don't move. It's heavily manipulated. I think the market makers are in a playground right now, so that's where I'm at with that. But you can see on the liquidation heat map what the market makers are looking at and where they're going. Everything below price action is a long trade. Everything above price action is a short trade. And the market makers are just looking after your liquidation points, chasing after them up and down. They draw the charts. They send them where they want, and they want your money. They don't care where you are. But you can see we've got a heavy pocket of liquidation right here around $112,000. I really feel like we'll probably try to grab that. There's a little bit all the way up to about 116,000. So cumulatively to the top side, we'll pull this up so we can get a better idea. 6 inches of rain here last night. Internet, everything's moving slow. We lost power. Finally came back on about 2 hours ago. But to the top side, we've got $248 million worth of liquidations. To the bottom side on the 24-hour chart, 272. You can see we are right in the middle. No trades here. You might as well take that money, put it in a slot machine, pull the handle. You're going to come out with the same outcome. Moving on to the charts, we're going to start off with the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. You can see we're rejecting the 50 smooth moving average as we speak. So the white line takes 50 candles, puts a fluid line on the chart, and that's how we get an average line, and it works as very strong support and resistance. We haven't been able to break out of this thing since the dump a week ago Friday. That's where I'm at with that. I'm not bullish until we get above this daily 50 smooth moving average. I pay attention when we cross these 50s, but what you can see and what has my attention now, rather than just downside and doom and gloom, is that we keep going up and we keep finding support. We go up, we find support, we go up, find support. So I'm in a holding pattern right now. I'm kind of waiting to see if we find support above these two lines, or if we just go ahead and range and come back down. Then the question is, do you come to target 1 or do you drop on down to target 2 right around 98,000? That's where I'm at with Bitcoin right now. It's a hurry up and wait. I feel like we'll probably get more direction maybe on Sunday, but for now, there's just not a lot of direction as to where we're going. Daily chart looks a little more bullish. You can see we've really kind of pushed and tried to find a run up here. All of this, since we hit all-time high the first time, is a corrective consolidative pattern. So that's where I'm at with it. I still feel like we're in a correction. The big deciding factor is when we get up here to this 50 smooth moving average, and then the yellow line's by 50 simple moving average. So the smooth moving average takes a culmination of the 50 EMA, which is the exponential moving average, and the SMA, and creates a blended line. I don't use the EMA a lot. It just doesn't serve me well, so I leave it off the chart. So here's where we are. Break above the 50 50 smooth moving average, get a successful retest, then we're headed to upward targets somewhere around 117 to 121 on up to 132 to 141. If we lose this line and we go ahead and finish this correction, which in my back of my mind, I think is really what's going on. And I'll tell you, this is a weekly correction. It's not just a daily correction. You can see daily corrections are here. They're not very big. This is a weekly correction. I feel like there's probably one more move in the downside, somewhere to 103,000, and you'll see my explaining why when we get into the weekly chart. Or we're going to head on down to the 200 moving average. That takes 200 of these candles, put the fluid line on the chart, works as another support and resistance, just like the 50 does. So we come back down and test the golden zone. I'm going to wait and see. If we can bounce off of 103, happy days, we're probably headed to the upside. If we can't get past that, I think we head on down to 97. And then if we, for some reason, we lose that, we're looking around that $90,000 range. But that's where I am for now. I feel like there's some hope in this daily chart, and I'm starting to get a little bullish. Like I said, if we cross that 50, I'm going to start looking for longs there. Moving out to a weekly chart, you can see why I think this move is not exactly over yet. The yellow line, 50 smooth moving average. Every time this bull run, when we've touched it, we've bounced. So when you get up here, we've touched it once, we've touched it twice. We found a little more support here. So maybe this move is done. In a bull run, a 382 is usually a pretty standard minimum retracement. So technically we've retraced the move. What I'm seeing for the past couple of weeks is starting to paint a bullish picture. This 50 moving average is going to be our decider. Like I've said, get over it, hold it as support. We're headed to the races, guys. If we can't hold this and we reject pretty hard, I think we head down to that weekly golden zone around $90,000. The 50 smooth moving average is sitting at the bottom of this trend, and these things really like to respect it. Now, you can argue this trend could be moved up. I've got it set because of the candles down lower, but if you set it there, then that shows a rejection or a support mechanism right at 103,000. So we may come down and retest it one more time, and we may just absolutely take off. That's what we're waiting on. That's why I'm not in a hurry, because there's a big move coming, and we want to catch it whichever direction it goes. Let's go on out to the Ethereum heat map. This is on a 24-hour as well. We'll go with the short terms today. You can see we've got big pockets of liquidity both sides. Nobody knows where we're going. Market makers are just going to bounce and forth and keep robbing liquidity as long as these high leverage longs and shorts are coming in. To the top side, $279 million worth of liquidations in shorts. To the bottom side, $334 worth of liquidations to the bottom. We are right in the middle. There is no direction and there is no trade at this time. Moving out to the 4-hour Ethereum chart, you can see we're ranging. We're in that 4-hour golden zone. I consider these no trade zones until we break above or below. So the question is, we keep finding support. We keep coming down and retesting, finding a higher support. So the question is, do we find support here in this target A at around $3,700 and bounce out, get above these 50 moving averages and start heading towards these 4-hour golden zones around $4,500? Or do we retest, fail here, lose this, head on down to $3,490? I think it's option 2. I could be wrong, but I'll explain that when we get down into the higher time frames. But like I said, right now there's no trade until we move out of this target box or get above these 50s. I'm just not trading. I'm just going to sit it out. I'm just going to wait. There's too many options of which way we could go from here. And we've already crossed the 50 simple moving average here, which is bullish. So we really need to see a crossover of this 4-hour 50, and then I think we're off to the races. Going out to the daily chart, you can kind of see why I think we may come down and go ahead and retest the bottom of this trend. There's several confluences here that I think are setting us up for a better bounce. We're below the 50 moving average, 50 smooth moving average on the daily. We're below the 50 simple moving average. It sits at the top of this bullish channel. So this channel's bullish, guys. These things 90% of the time they break out to the top side. So what I think's going on here is we're going to probably come on down and retest the bottom of this channel, and this is why I think so. You've got your 200 moving average sitting here. You've got the top of your 618 on the daily sitting here. These are all at $3,200, and you've got your weekly 50 smooth moving average sitting in the same place, right above a golden zone, right at the bottom of a channel. I think this is where we bounce somewhere around $3,200. If we can hold this, where we are now. We're bouncing here. If we lose this, I really feel like this is the solid target. Moving out to the weekly, you'll understand a little more what I'm talking about. You can see that same bull pennant forming. I use these trend lines. We're in an expanding wedge. Those things usually, Ethereum usually respects these lines back and forth. I've got it a little wide here. You could technically move it somewhere in here, and it's going to be a little tighter. That still puts you around the 382, $3,600, $3,630. Your moving averages are down here right on this weekly target at 3150. That's where I think we bounce somewhere in this range. We're going to be looking for a target. So I think the downside is near the end. I think we're looking for a bounce relatively soon. It may be here. We may need a couple more days to a week to move on down to those lower targets. So I know there's a lot of uncertainty in this video, but I'm trying to paint the best picture possible without giving you an exact direction, because right now I don't even know. But that's where I'm at. I feel like we're in a pretty good ranging pattern. If we can find support here, that's bullish. We're not dropping any lower. So the first time we get a breakout, we're going to jump on it because I think it's going to go up. Now then, if we lose these supports, the little bit of support we have left right where we are, like I said, those bottom targets are in place. So it's just kind of 50-50. It's hurry up, wait and see. I feel like Sunday will probably get some more direction. And on the weekends, typically what I notice is whatever direction you're going on Saturday, there's usually a reversal Saturday night into Sunday, and that kind of sets up the week. So keep that in the back of your mind too. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good breakdown today. I'll do one tomorrow once we get settled in and we get a nightly close and we can get a better understanding of what we're looking for the week. But I really appreciate you watching. Check out my links in the description. I post all of these charts on the Crypto School. You can find a link to that in my description. Get over there and set up with some great coaches and really learn how to trade and become an investor. There's also links to BitUnex and to Twitter. Go check those out. There's a sweet deal on BitUnex for your trading. And Twitter, I just post a bunch of random updates throughout the day. But I'm going to wrap it up for now. I got to get out. We got 6 inches of rain last night. I got some cleanup to do. The horses are soaking wet. It's a flat mess around here. So I'm going to quit. I'm going to get out to there. I'm going to post a video on hype later, so be looking out for that. And I'm Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. See you down the road.